Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Yu Wing. You can call me You Win or Win, and I'm really happy that we are together whenever and wherever you are. So I like to start my videos by sharing a practice, and the practice that I want to share comes to me by way of some of the information that I've heard from Esther Hicks. As she channels Abraham. And I also heard this by Alyssa Nobriga in a 5-day series that she was doing last week. And essentially, you're trying to like offset some of the negative thoughts or negative patterns. And so you ask yourself, wouldn't it be nice if, and you insert the blank. So letting yourself dream, letting yourself hope, letting yourself want. And sometimes I might ask a different version, such as, isn't it wonderful that? So, some version of imagining what could come, what could unfold, what you'd like if it happened or whenever it happens. So, if this is something that you want to try, just imagine tapping in and it can be very simple. Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to cook dinner? Isn't it wonderful that I get to share my thoughts with you? Wouldn't it be nice if my boss was having a good day tomorrow? Isn't it wonderful that I get a chance to grow and learn? So it just gets you to shift. It just helps your brain make some new habits if it is used to the negativity bias and looking for all that's negative. And so, a couple of ideas, a couple of scribbles in a journal about these ideas, or even conversation with someone might shift and move things around. So, just for your consideration, a possible tool for your toolbox. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about integration. And so this week has had a lot of momentum for me. There's been a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. There's also been frustration and resentment, but there's also been realizations and witnessing and processing and wondering and dreaming. And so there has been so much. And even in the moment, I was trying to process and I couldn't. And so today, I have been allowing things to integrate. And sometimes I think because we're in such an active society and we are always feeling like we have to do, and integration doesn't always have to be active, right? Um, Making sense of things can be a process that we can allow. And one of the ways that I think about integration is if you have ever done a yoga practice, the different postures in class, a lot of times yoga instructors or teachers at the end will ask you to come into a final resting pose, perhaps Shavasana, corpse pose, or some other version. And it's really intended to be the time to integrate everything at the end. It's not just rest, it's not just, to stop, but we're allowing in that rest for everything to sort of come together or for things to settle. If things got sore or if you got warmed up, you can sort of come back to an equilibrium. And so when I think of integration, I often think of that pose and I think about, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have an integration day? And so Sundays can tend to be a day where, there's not as many plans that are made on Sundays. There's not as many things that are open sometimes. And so, by default, Sundays can be my integration day. And I do feel sometimes that I need to do something, I need to write, I need to come up with a realization, I need to process my homework. And sometimes it's being with my breath, being with myself. Sometimes it's sitting, sometimes it's doing the chores and sort of just not letting my brain overthink as my brain tends to do. And so I wonder if you've had any integration moments recently, if you had a training and you were trying to make sense of what you learned and what you could take away, right? I like when I teach a workshop, I like to ask participants to jot down, scribble, um, highlight anything that stood out to them from that section. At the end, I might ask them to, think about one or two takeaways. And those usually end up being the things that we remember the most because we gave ourselves time to think about and process and find the things that stood out. And so that integration could be a helpful practice. I like to write, and I've mentioned this before, but at the end of the day, I like to write down the things that cause me stress, anxiety, sadness, fear. And I also like to identify the things from the day that helped me feel joyful or grateful or loving. And so, again, just some practices to kind of make sense of the day, to make sense of something that happens. If I have a really busy weekend or trip or event, I will also find ways to integrate it as well. And sometimes, again, that integration can be I'm going to rest. So, I'm going to find some time to allow my system to rest, to integrate. It's actually been quite eventful today, and I want to allow space for some of those more subtle energies and subtle lessons that might still be finding its way through the activities and the chores and the thoughts. So, just wanted to share that for your consideration. And I would love to hear if there are ways that you integrate things that are supportive for you, activities, people. And so I am really happy that we could be together. And I hope you know, and if not, that you will soon come to believe that who you are, who you truly are, is deserving and worthy of unconditional love. I truly believe it for you, for me, and I wish us so many possibilities in all of the lessons and learning and activities and pauses just to be able to integrate it into our systems. So I look forward to next time. Until then, please take good care. Okay, bye bye.